Welcome to MBA Mental Boost. This is your coach, Dr. Rosie, and today I want to talk about being comfortable with the uncomfortable. So I've had a little bit of radio silence this week. I hope you've been having a great week. The reason is I've been out and about talking in different schools and doing some public speaking, and something that came up yesterday, it just touched on something that I'm like, actually, this is really beneficial for all of us. So I had like a full-on day. I was talking to lots of different students. It ended up being about 800 students, ages like 13 to 18. And I was telling them all about how to optimize their mindset, how to work on mental skills training, all of these things that I talk about, my zone of genius. And I got them meditating. So they were groups of like about sort of 150 to 170 students. So massive assemblies with the teachers there as well. And I got them all to close their eyes or look at the floor. And I guided them through a meditation. So there was some breath work, to kind of release tension, just getting into the zone. Then I guided them, took them on a kind of journey in their mind. And then I brought them back to the present room. But the meditation was probably about 10 minutes. And for some students and for teachers too, it was really uncomfortable. Some students, at the beginning, we start to do the breath work and it feels super weird. You're closing your eyes or looking at the floor and you've got your friend sat next to you. And yeah, it feels uncomfortable. They probably have never done this before. So there was the normal, bit of giggling, like people like taking deep breaths in, but like making it really loud and then trying to kind of set their friends off. And then teachers were getting so embarrassed. And actually, interestingly, some of the teachers just weren't engaging with it. They were keeping their eyes open. I think in part it was because they were watching the students and probably feeling a bit mortified that the student, some of them were laughing and kind of mucking about. But when we opened our eyes, I was saying to the students and the teachers, because, some of them were apologizing for the students' behavior. And it's like, you know what? This in itself is a lesson. I was teaching you meditation and you can have kind of the benefits of that, 10-minute meditation, just some time to be. But also, when we're feeling uncomfortable, that's when we learn more about ourselves. And this is what I've learned to embrace and I encourage my clients to do. When we feel uncomfortable, our instinct is to shut it out, run away. So, the students, the instinct was kind of laugh it off, get a little bit silly because I'm not feeling that comfortable. Some of them probably just wanted the ground to open up and swallow them. That's where our instinct takes us. But if we can learn to embrace the discomfort, it's a cliche, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable, honestly, that's where we learn about ourselves. So I was saying to the students, that's when you can learn more, thinking about, what was I saying to myself in that moment? Probably like, oh my God, this is really uncomfortable. I wonder if everyone else has got their eyes opened and I'm the only one with my eyes closed. That feeling is so uncomfortable, especially if you're like a teenager. So I was saying to them, actually that period of being uncomfortable is when you learn more about yourself. You notice what you're saying to yourself. Actually, is it supporting me? Those thoughts, was that supporting me to actually just give myself some time to just be? Or was it actually taken away from me supporting myself because all I was thinking about was how I just wanted this to be over. Like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. Just want it to be over. Which isn't supporting you because you're then not letting your mind and body connect and you're not allowing yourself to be in that moment. So I said to the teachers afterwards, you don't need to apologize for students laughing or giggling or whatever it was, because actually that in itself is such a powerful lesson for them in feeling comfortable when we're uncomfortable. Years ago, I never would have stood up in front of 170, 180 students and closed my eyes. But yesterday, so comfortable, feeling so confident, like happy taking deep breaths, like whatever it is, because I've done so much work on my mindset to feel comfortable in the uncomfortable. And actually, there was no discomfort at all yesterday, because that kind of thing now doesn't make me uncomfortable. But there are lots of things, lots of challenges that do make me feel uncomfortable, but I've learned to embrace them and actually just run headfirst into them, because that's the point where I grow. So I want you to think about, what areas are feeling maybe a bit sticky at the moment, a little bit uncomfortable or hugely uncomfortable. There are times where we can be facing really big challenges. And how can you embrace that and face into it? Because honestly, when you do that, you grow so much as a person. So hope that gives you food for thought, and whatever you are up to today, have a wonderful one. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of MBA Mental Boost, the secret weapon to supercharging your performance on the court. If you found today's episode useful, don't forget to subscribe and share. You can connect with me over on any social platform. You can find me at Dr Rosie Mead. Until next time, go out there and dominate using the power of your mind. This is Dr Rosie, signing off.